Well, guess thank God for NFL free agency because not a very fun basketball conversation this week. But
Nope, for all the right reasons. You got the
yeah,
Lakers, and then we'll get to the college team that disappointed again.
man. Um, yeah, sorry if
Embarrassing.
my lighting's kind of weird. I'm super pale, so just look at Matt the whole time. But
Don't look at me, I'm crippled.
even though he only has one arm right now, that's okay. Uh, all right. Well, I guess we'll start with NFL's or no NBA stuff since it's actually still season. Um, but yeah, you know how I said a couple weeks ago, I was like, this team is making it to the finals, but the caveat I threw in there, right? Based on what? Based on
Health.
health. And now, once I saw LeBron go out of that Celtics game, I knew we were kind of in trouble. Because he's not going to take himself out unless it's like something significant.
Yeah.
Um, and then groin strain. Honestly, I feel like they had a chance to down 20 in the fourth or going into the fourth, and to still be able to like have a chance at the end, even without Braun down the stretch. Like I felt pretty good about it. Um, Today's game, I kind of had this sneaky suspicion that it was gonna be like a trap game, essentially. No Braun, like who's gonna step up. Um, we can
Everybody
kind of
was
get into
pretty
it, but
bad,
yeah,
though. I mean, I
everyone's
had
just
nothing better
bad.
to do to watch this game, but
Yeah, like you said, everyone
I don't know.
not good. But
Luca
we'll
was
start.
bad. Austin
Well,
Reeves couldn't find the
yeah,
shot.
exactly. But I thought the key win was the Knicks game, right? At home
Mm,
against a quality opponent who you already beat on the road, right? All most of their guys active. And it was one where they were down and had to come back. And I just think that one showed me a lot, right? And for them to be able to pull that one out, everyone made clutch plays on the stretch. Gabe Vincent, probably one of his better games as a Laker, hitting the big shots when they needed it. But I felt good. And honestly, I kind of knew going on the road after that game was going to be a little bit tough. Um, but yeah, the Knicks win, I thought that was a really big win for them. And even, Stephen A. and Braun getting into it a little bit. I mean, I don't know. Like, I get where Braun's coming from, so I don't really have anything to say about it. Honestly, I don't have too much to say about it. Anyway, that's what we try to avoid, though. Like I will say, that's the one thing that when me and Matt started doing this thing, we said we're not just gonna say stuff to like rage bait people or spew controversial opinions just for views or debate stuff we don't actually disagree on. Like, you know what I mean? And to a certain extent, I don't think like Stephen A. Smith really does that too much. I want to take his word for it, but like the Bronny thing is so unnecessary to me to be saying like, LeBron, I'm begging you as a father to please, but like he's acting like Bronny's not putting up like 25 and six in the G League, right? Like it's a legit, like he's a legit, two-way NBA player, I think at this point. So I thought that was a little ridiculous.
I think that's the thing that makes it frustrating for LeBron too. It's yeah, that's his kid, obviously, so he's
Yeah,
gonna back him up. But well, he's not. He's the last guy on the bench basically with the Lakers. He's
right.
not gonna be a guy that's gonna impact this year and maybe even next year. Who knows? But he's shown that he has potential.
Oh,
He has
definitely has
potential as
potential.
what is he, 19? He's 19, right?
Yeah.
So hey, maybe you spend a couple years in the G League. You maybe make a run at the NBA when you're 21,
And
22,
that's still
and
insanely
that's
young, by
still
the way.
great. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. But at least he's shown progress and the ability to keep up with these professional athletes, which is what we were worried about. Like, oh, the
Hmm.
NBA guys, it could have been like a Lonzo thing where you got a target on your back when you come into the league because of
I think this is worse than the Lonzo
chatter.
thing, to be honest.
You think
But
so? I think the Lonzo's one was pretty bad though.
Maybe his was worse because he was coming in as a like solidified starter, and
Yeah.
LeVar wasn't making things any easier either. So yeah,
But
but
you know what's good about this debate is, did you see
see, I
Skip
didn't
and
see it. I
Steven?
didn't watch it yet. Did they? What do they even talk about?
I
They have
only
a
watched
shared common enemy now, kind of thing.
no, well,
Like,
that's what I see on Twitter. It's like, wow, they're coming together, breaking their what do you call it, disputes to talk trash about LeBron. So I only watched like maybe like 10, 15 minutes, like the first couple of points they talked about. And that was just like how Stephen A got introduced into ESPN. I saw like, the timestamps. I think there's a LeBron segment, a Cowboys segment. So that'll be where it gets a little interesting. So I was like, wow, out of nowhere.
hmm yeah. Um, but yeah, that was a good game. Like I said, the Boston one felt like if Braun was in there, they probably had a chance. I think they cut it to like 4 or 5 down the stretch. Seems like they had a chance, but gonna be tough when you lose Braun already without Rui, right? Already without Jackson Hayes in that one as well. So they were kind of outnumbered on the road in Boston. Like it's gonna be a hostile environment. Um, Tough place for any team to go in and win, especially when you're not at 100%. But today's game, like I just kind of felt it, like no Braun, like on the road off of a like really tough Celtics game, and just felt like had all the makings of a trap game. Um, and ultimately it kind of panned out to be just that, right? Like you said, no one really got it going. I think Austin Reeves, I don't think he's right. Um, he came back from the injury and hasn't really been him, himself from earlier this season just yet. So I think, I'm not gonna panic. Like 2 straight losses, yeah, it's kind of a big deal in the Western Conference. But like I said, even if we don't get the 2 seed, if they're able to get a top 4 seed, is what I'm looking at. Um, I'm honestly okay with that. So, not gonna overreact or panic. I know every game means more now, but come on, no Braun off of a on a road trip. Still no Rui, still no Jackson Hayes still out, right? Austin Reeves still
Yep.
getting right, but good to see some of the other guys step up. I know ultimately we lost, but Gabe Vincent had a pretty good game. So if he can keep things rolling, I'm feeling pretty good about it.
The one positive is when a guy like LeBron is out, it allows for other guys to potentially step up and get more shot attempts, with the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So that can play a carryover effect on a positive note where it's like, well, their confidence, like this is their time to work on stuff, not just necessarily be a catch and shoot 3-point shooter in the corner. Like
Yeah.
Gabe has had, I mean, that's kind of his game and his role. It's a 3-and-D, hit the open shot, but he was making plays off the dribble a little bit, and then connect is another guy, 3-and-D guy with LeBron, Luca, Austin Reeves.
I think he has the
But
potential for
he
the
look at him
defensive
last year at
side.
Tennessee. Like he was
Yeah.
literally a bucket. He wasn't a 3-point shooter. He was a bucket. So he was showing some flashes. I saw he had a pretty nice dunk too. So he can get to the rim. Obviously he can shoot. So hey, with this development, yeah, you lose the battle, but maybe you win the war by getting these guys going a little bit.
Mm,
But you did lose to Brooklyn, and you do have a tough stretch coming up,
well, what are we now?
which is the concern. I
Third,
think.
tied for third, fourth, essentially.
Yeah, like this
Um,
is this these next like what 5, 6 games are just brutal.
yeah.
Easily, the Lakers could lose all five. I mean, that's just how good the other teams are. But I don't know. Giannis isn't back yet, I think. So that may be good. But
hmm
still, Milwaukee on the road, Dame, it's going to be tough. And then obviously Joker in Denver, always a problem. KD's still there. And, Devin, they can get hot at any time. San Antonio, yeah, no Wemby, but they're young. They're feisty. They're going to scrap and claw. The Lakers are older. Typically, you got veterans like Luca, LeBron. Yeah, they'll go through the motions, and that's like today, I think this is a perfect example. It's like the Brooklyn team, no real big names, maybe outside of D'Lo, but a lot of young guys just playing scrappy, hungry. The Lakers is just like, nah, we're just kind of going through the motions. Tiring game against Boston. Everybody was watching that one, so I'd probably let their foot off the gas a little bit, to be honest, because Brooklyn was getting a lot of second chance points, hustling, getting the loose balls, and ultimately that made the difference at the end of the game, since the Lakers only lost by 3. So this is going to be a true test, I think, to see can they win
Mhm.
without LeBron and step up.
Yeah, this is gonna be a big stretch for them. I don't know. I think they can do it. I'm not too concerned as long as we have Luca. Honestly, like
Luka
that's
wasn't that great
the
either
yeah.
today.
He
He
wasn't
was
that
pretty
great,
inefficient.
but I think they'll still find a way to get it done. I think they have to go out of this next what would we say 1, 2, 3. Let's call it 6 game stretch. I'm feeling like a 4-2.
Mm,
I'm like that
really?
optimistic. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Milwaukee,
Um,
Denver, Phoenix, San Antonio, Denver. Whew, that's tough.
I
I mean,
think
LeBron is out for 1 to 2 weeks.
yeah, because I wouldn't be surprised if they lose the rest of the away games and then they win out the homestand. I could see
Hmm.
that happening, personally. So I'll go
I think they. I
nice
don't
and
think
confident
they
four
beat
and
Denver
two.
without LeBron.
Yeah.
I don't think you beat Denver without LeBron. I mean, Joker's healthy and he's there. He's a force. Brother
Well,
put up 30, 20, and 20 the other day. So
yeah, one it was good to talk about that later. But yeah, dude is ridiculous. Anyway, I don't know. Didn't have that much basketball really going on other than the Lakers. Nothing really juicy or anything. Um,
well, that's the team that we talk about on this podcast, the
yeah,
Lakers.
yeah. I mean, Cleveland
We
clinched, but
follow
that's
them,
not like
so
I'm not surprised there. Cleveland's been really good this year. Um, but I think I want to focus most of it on football actually in March, which is kind of crazy because NFL free agency kind of went stupid today. Like the amount of stuff that's gone on today and like the past week. Um, I don't know. Like I think there's a lot to discuss. So I don't even know where to start. Maybe we'll start with Devontae. That was one of the big ones from today, right? Um, Obviously we knew Cooper Cup was probably getting let go or gonna get cut, and now um Devontae to the Rams after we know Matt Stafford's coming back, right? Was thinking about it for a sec, but I mean I like it. I don't hate it. If he's a little bit more productive than Cooper Cup is gonna be last year, it's hard not to like. Because now it's essentially right who you're gonna go put 2 guys on. You're gonna double Puka or Devontae, and you can't do both, right? So I like what it does. I just think that they're gonna need some time between Stafford and Devontae to get on the same page. But the thing we kind of talked about before, right? Like because Devontae is such a route runner, right? And he has high football IQ. I think the older he gets, it's not gonna affect his game too much, right? I know we talked about like Tyreek, speed, 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 but the older he gets, right, he's not as surgical as like a Devontae Adams. So the game isn't gonna be as efficient the older he gets. I think key guy, one of if you could probably say the GOAT of all receivers, Jerry Rice, right? Like played into his 40s, was never really a burner though throughout his entire career, but just had high football IQ, was durable, and that's why he was so good. So I think Devontae, similar, once he's able to get on the same page as Matt Stafford and that offense, I think he'll be a really productive guy. I don't know. We'll see how he is being. It's weird to call Devontae Adams a number 2 behind
well, he was
Puka,
the number
but
2 with the Jets, right? With
I
Garrett
mean,
Wilson.
it felt like they're kind of force
One
feeding
A,
him
one
though.
B.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I think it's a good match. Like the more I thought about it, once they finally get on the same page, but I don't know. I think the Rams are gonna need a uh, add some help to that offensive line. So um,
Yeah,
yeah.
interesting. I don't know what they're gonna do at Cup though. He can go to Dallas.
Well, they're
Ooh.
either gonna trade him or
Release him, right?
release him. Yeah. But I mean, big, names today. Um, I'll just run through a whole bunch, man, and then we can discuss team by team, right? I thought the DK one was huge when he got traded. Gino, another one I want to talk about. Sam Darnold to the Seahawks now, right? What else we got? Josh Allen signed his 6 year, $330 million extension. No surprise there. I thought a sneaky good one, JC Horn, back to the Panthers. I think for that young core, I mean, he's one of the best DBs in the league, so uh, I think that was good for them. Bears made a lot of moves today. And I think if you're a Bears fan with Ben Johnson now at the helm with Caleb Williams, honestly, I'm feeling pretty good about the Chicago Bears. It might take a while to set the culture and everything, but I thought that one was good. Um, Miles Garrett, hilarious. Request a trade. And the Browns say, "We'll make you the richest non QB ever," and he said, "Okay, I'll stay." Well, I mean, I respect it. Hey, it's kind of hard to turn down, 160 mil for 4 years. 4 years, 160 mil. Um, Probably one of the more active Cowboys free agencies, just because you signed Javonte Williams. So that's already pretty
Woohoo!
active.
Woohoo!
Like, yeah, I gotta be feeling pretty good there. Detroit, or Denver. I thought Denver made some good moves too. And then the
Yeah,
Colts.
Denver got two guys, right? Oh, they got Hufanga and
Yeah, they
did they
got
get Greenlaw
Hufanga.
too?
No, I think Greenlaw stayed with. Oh no, he did. Yeah, he did go. So big
Mm.
names for that defense that was already really good. Um, and then I guess the two AFC South teams, like the Colts. Colts made a lot of moves too. Like they're stacking up. They got what's his name? Travaris Ward and Cam Bynum, like two key free agents that were on the market. They got two of the bigger DBs, so that back end already looking a lot better, I think, with that front seven. So yeah. But those are kind of my big ones. Where do we start? I think the we'll start with some quarterbacks, Matt, and I'm just puzzled by a couple things. Oh, also, sorry, New England, a little bit scared because they're stacking up too defensively, so they're going to be one to look out for. But starting with the quarterbacks, Matt, the thing I don't get, it's okay, the Geno Smith, Sam Darnold thing for Seattle, right? I get it originally, like you're moving on from Geno, it's you've been close but haven't quite been able to take that next step, right? Understandably, okay, I get it. I think Geno's still a solid quarterback in this league, definitely deserving of one of the 32 starter spots on an NFL team. But was he gonna, take you to that next level? Okay, maybe not, right? Still a respectable guy. So you ship him off for a third. Okay, that's all we're getting for Geno. Honestly, I thought you could probably got like a third and like a sixth or a fifth, maybe even, but at least a third and like a sixth or something else coming back. Not just straight up a third. If you're gonna get one, like maybe a second, because he's like a starting quarterback for the next 3 to 5 years. Anyway, that's like not here nor there. Good situation, I think, for Gino. Gets to go back to with Pete and organization that's looking to rebirth themselves a little bit. So Vegas, they get a solid quarterback. And then you start hearing Sam Darnold is the one that's linked to Seattle. And I'm just thinking, like, in my head personally, is Sam Darnold versus like gonna give you that much more than Geno Smith? Like, honestly, like,
Who's their coach? Is it
isn't it
McDonald?
McDonald?
Michael?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. But he's
Mike
Ravens, right?
McDonald. Yeah. So he's
Yeah.
and he's a defensive guy, I'm pretty sure. So I don't
Mm.
know who made that call. Um but I'm just puzzled. And you pay Sam Darnold 3 years, 100 mil.
It's
Like,
like the same contract they gave Gino, right?
yeah,
Like something similar
yeah.
initially.
So I don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm a little bit confused by that one, Matt. Just because, like, what is what is Sam Darnold gonna do? Like, is he the guy that you think is gonna take you to the next level that you thought Gino was going to? But then you also trade DK.
Maybe.
But you also trade DK, right?
And yeah.
So
And
our
Tyler Lockett's gone.
and Tyler Lockett is gone. I mean, he was probably on the back end anyway. But what is the message to your team? Are we rebuilding? Are we trying to make a push now? But why would we trade DK if we're trying to make a push? Is there something behind the scenes we don't know? Just doesn't make a lot of sense for me. What's going on in Seattle, especially in a division that's, I mean, you know, you're gonna have to win some games, right, to be in it, in that division. So just a little confused. I think if I'm a Seahawks fan, I'm sure most of them are honestly pretty confused by the whole thing, Matt. But yeah, it just didn't make a whole lot of sense to me, like why they would choose to do that.
I don't know. Well, maybe they really do believe in Darnold and they saw more
I
of
don't
the
know, man.
15 to 16 games in the beginning of the season and discounted the last
Yeah, I
couple
think that's kind of
games.
hard to do though, personally. Like if I'm gonna move off Gino, like a guy that's been solid for this team, keep in mind Seattle's one game away from making the playoffs this year or last year. And Sam, I just can't really get behind the whole Darnold thing. That he's gonna be the one to, turn around this franchise and take you to the next level. I just can't really see it, especially now with no TK. So like I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So I thought that one was kind of puzzling there. Another quarterback one wanted to talk about real quick. Justin Fields going over to the Jets. That one interesting. Um, don't really know what to make of that. Obviously, there's the Ohio State connection, so Garrett Wilson's probably happy there. But they're essentially slating Justin Fields in as a starter of that team. Um,
I would say
still
for now.
for
I
now,
think that's a sneaky contract because
still got
I
Brees
don't
Hall.
know.
I mean, it's a decent contract though, right? Like, isn't it? How
Isn't
much
it two
is?
years?
Yeah, it's 2 years, but it's a good amount. It's like what, 40 mil, 30 mil guaranteed. So that's like that's
15 a
starter.
year.
That's a starter contract. Like no matter how you put it, that's a starter's contract for this upcoming season, right? Um,
But I'm thinking it's the Jets, so I'm trying to think strategy wise, what is their pick? Don't they have a top 10 pick in the
yeah.
draft? So what if they're this is like their fallback plan? It's like, well, we're gonna try go for Cam or Shador, Jackson Dart, like whoever it is,
Hmm.
maybe one of those quarterbacks. And if they don't get them, then it's like, okay, at least we got a stable quote unquote quarterback situation. Like it's not like we're pushing all our eggs into the draft and we hope we get our guy. Like they did the research. They're still gonna try to get Shador, Jackson Dart, whoever it is, but they have a guy at least that they can throw in there for week one. And if the tank comes on after that, then well, so be it. They can draft Arch Manning or whoever comes out after that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they
I feel
have the
like that's their
seventh pick in the
plan.
draft, so we'll see. I
Because
guess we'll
Shador is a
see how
wild
it
card right
plays
now. I
out.
don't know where he's going. Somewhere he's got
I
top
mean, all the
five. He's
signs
got
say either probably New York or Cleveland, right? I would imagine. Other New York
I
team.
think Cam Ward is the guy that's kind of taking the hype now. He's the
Yeah.
clear cut number one guy. But is the New York gonna actually draft a quarterback? Like I feel like I don't know. Joe Sheen signed. Maybe they will because they signed Darius Slayton to a contract similar to Saquon's. But whatever.
No comment. No
No comment.
comment.
But just saying they signed
Yeah.
the receiver. So
I don't know. I'm not too, as a Dolphins fan, not very worried about this Jets signing. So well, I don't know. Maybe if they make a couple other moves, I'll be a little concerned. The defense is still going to be good, I think, when they get back on track. But yeah, Justin Fields just doesn't scare me really. Maybe it should. I don't know. We were big Justin Fields fans. I don't know if you remember, Matt, like
Yeah.
of that class. And I mean, still looking at that class, it's been quite a disappointment, honestly, with that quarterback class. But we were pretty high on him. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see how that whole thing shakes out. But another, I guess, past quarterbacks to kind of round it out, and then we'll talk about our teams now a little bit. Um, Zach Wilson was not a name I was expecting to see and hear him sign with Miami. Uh, Interesting one there, Matt. Just because obviously Zach Wilson's still really young, still talented, right? He has all the physical traits, right? Uh, Kind of has improved his stock with his showcase in Denver. His interviews and willingness to be that backup. One thing I'm scared of is, there's a decent chance he's going to play this year. Um, to me, we can't be, you know, paying 6 million guaranteed for a project. Does
I
that
don't
make
think he's a
sense?
project. I think he's a certified QB2 at this point in his
Yeah. Oh,
career.
and I get that, but is he even? We've seen how long it took Snoop Huntley, right, to get adjusted to that Miami system, right? Like it took some time. So maybe an offseason is enough for Zach Wilson. My concern is that this offense is very like contingent on the quarterback pre-snap and very, very fast post-snap reads. And I saw a lot of saw a lot of Zach Wilson when he was in New York. Don't know if the post-snap reads were necessarily his strength, you know? So that's my only concern. Hey, maybe Mike thinks that he can coach him up. That's great. His attitude is there. Fine. I was just concerned, like Marcus was out there, Jameis was out there, um, a bunch of these veteran guys. I know Andy Dalton wanted to go back, but Gardner Minshew, even, a guy that I would have been okay with as a QB2 just because he's had starter experience. I saw Zach Wilson. I'm like, well, I guess that's just how it's gonna be. Um, but maybe as it gets closer, I'll feel a little bit more confident. I'm not very confident right now in the Zach Wilson signing, but um, yeah, Miami's been
Could have signed Cooper
Dallas,
Rush.
Dallas so far. Yeah, I guess so. But Miami has been like Dallas so far. Like all these crazy, signings flying around, and I'm waiting. They signed a guard today, James Daniels, but other than that, like haven't really seen too much, unfortunately.
Well, I saw on
So
Twitter the Cowboys signed ex-Dolphin. I have no idea who this guy is. Do you know who
yeah,
this guy
Robert
is?
Robert Jones. Yeah, he's been a kind of plug and play guard. He actually was really effective for us last year when he was playing. Was a pretty good guy that stepped up when we needed him. So that one hurts a little bit. Not gonna lie.
He's a depth piece then.
But he's like a fringe starter kind of guy. Like can come in and he was good for us. I'll say that. So
I think
yeah.
penciled in Dallas has their starting line like intact already. Like they
Uh-huh.
re-signed Hoffman. BB's gonna start probably. I don't know if he'll be at center, but he'll be in there. Obviously, Tyler Smith,
Yeah.
Guyton probably year two just by stature of the first round pick, and then Terrence Steele. So
Hmm.
yeah, I think they have their guys. So hey, if this guy can be a Chuma Idoga kind of guy for us, just fill in as needed because he left somewhere. I don't know where he went, but I
Yeah.
know he's gone. So maybe that's his role. So I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, you got to have depth at the offensive line position for
Hmm.
any team. So
Yeah.
okay, I'm a little
So
more confident. I feel a little better about this signing because I was like, who in the hell?
yeah, it's Yeah, more of a depth piece, I'll say
He
for
can't be
sure.
Connor Williams bad, but I mean, like
Connor
like,
Williams was a good piece for us. Let me just,
well, he was Mr. Penalty on Dallas, so you can't be any worse. Like that's the thing that
hmm
makes me so mad is penalties.
yeah, yeah, you're right.
Just destroys drives, destroys seasons.
Yeah. Seasons is a little bit of a stretch, don't you think?
No, I don't think so because it's when you have the penalty.
Mm, yeah.
You can be clicking, you're rolling, you're driving, game on the line, holding
hmm
first and 20, and then you're screwed.
Yeah.
Kills the drive and then kills the season, depending when you do it. And it's happened in the playoffs before with this guy.
hmm
So never forget.
Yeah.
Also, want to
Hard.
shout out Zach Martin, by the way. He retired.
Oh yeah. Hell of a career,
First ballot
Zach.
Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Kind of saw the writing on the wall, but he had a shame that he didn't get a Super Bowl because
Mm,
quite possibly one of the guys that probably should have won one.
yeah. I mean, I don't doubt that at all, Matt. Yeah, Zach Martin, hell of a player. Um, but I mean, I don't know. Why don't you talk a little bit of the Cowboys right now? Because my team didn't do hasn't done jack. I'm kind of waiting, Chris. Like, hello, uh,
Well, I
offensive
mean,
line,
it's
safeties.
we
Like,
got Javante Williams. I don't know if that counts as like our
at least you re-sign
big
guys.
names.
We haven't been doing anything. Javon Holland,
I
that's
don't
a
know,
big
but
name
like
now.
I
I
don't
think.
understand. I mean, we'll talk about it later, but we restructured Dak and CD's contract to have crickets now. Like, isn't that the whole point to restructure
hmm
their contract? Like, so you're
hmm
gonna sign somebody, not even no Micah Parsons deal. Like, come on, guys. Like the Miles Garrett contract just came out. Like, it's gonna go higher and higher. So
Yeah,
I really don't understand like what's taking them so long to figure out these pieces. And it's Jerry. Like, I'm not falling for his trap again. Like,
hmm
dude just thinks you can draft a team to victory. Like, no, that's not how it works. You have to hit in the draft, but in reality, you kind of have to hit in every area, like the
yeah,
Eagles do.
yeah. Well, that's a miracle run. They lost a lot of guys though. Um,
The Eagles, well, they
yeah,
lost their line.
yeah.
So
Mm,
hey, that's why maybe there's a chink in the armor. No NFC team or NFC East team has repeated in the past 20 years. So
hmm
the writing's on the wall. Super
Yeah,
Bowl hangover. It doesn't happen for the Chiefs. It's gonna happen for the
for the
gonna
Eagles.
happen for the Eagles. Yep.
Well, I hope so. But if we don't want to talk too much about that, Matt, um, if
There's
we,
nothing to talk about because nobody did
well,
anything.
I mean, yeah, but the besides Dallas, the last big one I kind of wanted to say was the Laramie Tunsil trade. I think that one kind of went a little under the radar, but Washington loading up.
Yeah.
Debo, I mean,
Yeah.
if he gets if this is like a wake up call for him, um, to get back in shape, then okay, great. If not, it's not a big loss. I think they're still pretty good, right?
Yeah.
But the Laramie Tunsil thing, I think, is huge for that team and Jaden Daniels to get a lot of help. So that's a big. I'm surprised that the Texans were willing to make that trade. I don't know if that's kind of like, is there something the rest of us don't know? I mean, he's a five-time Pro Bowler in what, 5 seasons, right? So I don't know exactly
It's a
what.
money thing. Doesn't Tunsil have a big contract?
Yeah, he does have a big contract. They got a lot of picks too, but you're not in a rebuild if you're Houston. So I don't know. I'm just a little
Or are they
confused,
trying to
maybe.
clear the bank for the CJ Stroud
Maybe.
payment?
Yeah, probably.
This is
Um,
year three.
yeah. And yeah. Oh yeah, I guess it is year 3. So I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes, Matt. But um the last kind of big one I wanted to talk about was the Jamar Chase one. Oh, it hasn't gotten signed yet, right? But I just think it's crazy that um they still they should have signed him last year. right? Because now what is the price going to be? I don't know. Like, I think the Miles Garrett one really hurt Cincinnati now. I mean, Trey
Yeah, that's a
Hendrickson is
killer.
out there. Like,
Yep.
how many times have we seen now? Like, we go back to even the Lamar thing, right? Where like, just sign him now, just sign him now. And then he does well, and the price just goes up and up and up. So, especially for a guy like Jamar Chase, right? I don't understand kind of the logic behind not signing him. Might as he's gonna be the highest paid guy anyway, so might as well just do it as soon as you can, right? Like maybe there's other
Yeah.
salary cap stuff that I don't quite understand as like an average fan, but yeah,
Same
I don't
thing can
know.
be said about Dallas. Like, if Micah Parsons, if you know he's going to be on your team,
Yeah,
what are you waiting for?
yeah, I don't know.
What are you waiting for? You're only helping yourself out as a business standpoint by signing him earlier. If you know that he's gonna be on the team. Now, if you're gonna trade him, it's a whole other story.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think Micah or Jamar is going anywhere. And by
Yeah,
not signing Jamar, well, you're gonna pay him a little bit more. You already burned the bridge with T. Higgins, so he's upset. Trey Hendrick said, screw this, I'm out of here. Like,
Y-
so a lot of these core players are disgruntled,
yeah,
disappointed. So not a good look for the Bengals right now. And really the only thing is they got Joe.
mm-hmm.
Joe is keeping them at least relevant.
Yeah. But I mean, even as we've seen, Matt, um you can't really like win based off a wide receiver and a quarterback. So to that extent, I get some of it, but I think it's different when you're talking about Jamar Chase and you're talking about, like
It's
these
Jamar Chase and
key
T. Higgins. These are
and
like top
T
10
yeah.
receivers in the league. One is top one or two, depending how you want to put it. So I don't understand. I really don't understand.
Yeah. Um Other than that, I don't know. Like there's so many moves today, man. I don't even know.
I
Like,
think the Niners had a couple departures to the Broncos. That's pretty huge.
yeah,
The
there
Juszczyk one caught me off guard.
use check. That's right. That was a big loss. I mean, nine-time Pro Bowl. Maybe this just a shift in like what that team and culture is gonna look like.
I
Um,
mean, I think so, and I think it has to do with Mr. QB1. Like he's gonna get a payday. So how many guys can you keep on this team? Like
and that's what I was saying.
Debo.
They have to sign Brock Purdy, right? Like, there's no way you don't sign Brock Purdy. I don't know.
I
Like,
mean, I think if you're John Lynch, you should reward the guy that, in a sense, saved your job.
yeah.
Like if you don't draft Brock Purdy
How
and you did the
how
Trey Lance trade, you would have been
yeah.
fired.
And how cruel that would be though. Like for them to say, sorry, Brock, we can't do it. I don't
Well,
that's
if you do
like
that, then you should keep Debo, keep these other guys at least.
yeah, I get it's like a business, at the end of the day. But that to me is just like insane. If you're not gonna pay Brock Purdy at the end of the day.
I think they are.
So
It seems like they are. All these
yeah,
guys are leaving, so
yeah. I
they're
think you
setting
kind of have
themselves
to.
up.
Yeah, I agree. Um,
Makes me happy though, because this is a lot of key pieces that they're losing. So a lot of culture guys leaving.
hmm, yeah,
The downfall begins. Of
downfall. Yeah, you're happy about that. Um,
course.
but
Hopefully the Cardinals can make a run and run that division.
yeah, I think the Commanders loading up, that's just not a good sign for you, Matt. Sorry. Um, but yeah,
Yeah,
other than that,
Jaden might have a CJ Stroud sophomore slump.
ah, I don't buy it. I'm sorry. I can't get on board with the and I think too his legs help a lot. It can make up
That's true.
for a lot of stuff. Like CJ's a great athlete, don't get me wrong, but he's not the runner that um
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels is, right? So uh yeah. Other than that, Matt, I think I don't know. Do you want to talk about Any other football stuff right now?
I mean, not really. I mean,
Yeah, that's about it, huh?
I'm waiting for the crickets to go away
You tell
from.
me. I mean, you're telling me. I was not expecting this out of Chris Greer. I thought we were going to be buyers and buyers early, but I don't know. Maybe he's scarred from the Shaq Barrett and Odell stuff that kind of came back
Hotel.
to bite us. So, maybe they're taking a more conservative approach this
Is
year.
Odell was Odell a 1 year guy? Or was
Yeah,
he a multi-year? Oh,
one
so you
year,
guys are
and
off
he
the
didn't
books
even
then.
last. Yeah, 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 yeah. So, um, yeah, we'll see. It was not great for us.
All right. Well, the next big domino is probably Cooper Cup, I would
Cooper
think.
Cup. I mean,
First.
Javon Holland's still out there. There's still a lot of like good guys out there. I think that are like I don't know can be. Um, we'll see. We'll see where the chips fall and everything, Matt. But yeah.
All right.
Um, let's see. Other than that, I think that's it for like football stuff. So, I don't know what can we get to next? We want to get to basketball. Um,
Yeah, we got to get
yeah,
to the team that missed the tournament.
yeah.
I was
Okay.
gonna bring Hunter on, but he's I think he's going to Vegas this week.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the intention was to watch UH, the men's team. What is going on?
Oh, sorry, I'm talking. Um, but yeah. Um, okay, wait, hold on. Give me a sec. I need to pause it. All right, my bad. But yeah, just getting to some UH stuff, Matt. Um, basketball. I mean, I guess this is the official like end of an era. What do you think? Um,
Oh, that's probably the only thing that's giving me hope with what's going
so
on with this program because
obviously, which one was the big one? It was the
Bakersfield,
Bakersfield game. Yeah,
yeah,
that we really needed to win,
hmm
and
and they couldn't come up, couldn't come up with it. Honestly, both of them, they had two chances, win and in. You win one of those games, you're in the tournament. Don't worry about it. But we already know what the challenge CSUN presents with their athleticism. They already blew us out by 20 at home before, so let's go try to get this Bakersfield one. I think we beat them before. I think this is the better matchup for us, and we come out lose by 12. So from there, it was like, oh, we are in trouble because Cal Poly plays the two worst teams this week, and they took care of business.
so it's official now,
So
huh?
it is officially over. There is no March Madness for UH this year, and
Sad.
it is probably maybe in the time that I've been a UH basketball fan, and it's right up there with the Bob Nash era, like that last year with Bob Nash, which was pretty tough. And that was the last year that they missed the tournament, which was in 2010. Fun fact, Bob Nash got fired after that.
Mm,
So the writing is kind of on the wall.
yeah.
Um, I'm just actually as bad as they are. I just can't believe that they didn't make the tournament. I can't believe top eight. They had to make top eight just to qualify, and they lose what 5 out of their last 6 games. They had a losing record for the season, and you played guys like HPU. Not trying to
Mm-hmm.
knock them down, but they're not a D1 program. You got HPU, Hilo.
Right.
I don't think they played Chaminade, but like you got Life Pacific in the Rainbow Classic. Like that's a NAIA team, and you're beating them. So who are we playing? Who are we playing to challenge ourselves to get better? Um, if people don't want to come to Hawaii, why can't we fly out for a road trip? Like one road trip. I'm not saying go to the East Coast or anything, but Can we not play like USC, or somebody like that, UCLA? Like, can they give us money to come play them? Like, is there no way that we can work out to play some of these West Coast bigger schools? San Diego State, Grand Canyon was honestly a good test on the road. They're a tournament team, but I think Oregon State, Washington, like, can we
Hmm.
just please, like, anybody on the West Coast would literally do, and you can make a whole thing about it and play like a 2-3 game road trip against quality teams. And no, we play guys like Life Pacific. I get the HPU thing and the UH Hilo, right? They kind of try to honor that, but it's just we're not battle tested, and it clearly showed in the last game. We were up by 7 at the half, and by that time, Cal Poly won already. So I'm sure the coaches or whatever, there was somebody that told the team Cal Poly won. We're up 7. This is our time. It's we control everything right now, and it was just bad. It's just bad. Um, so I think there's no reason for why Ganat should come back at this point. He missed the tournament. You missed the tournament. That
The
is
the big what?
unacceptable.
Yeah.
Yeah, unacceptable. And we're going to the Mountain West in a couple seasons. If we miss the tournament in the Big West, we are going to get dead last or be competing for last in the Mountain West. And a lot of these games are not going to be close. You're already losing the fan base.
Hmm.
So
That's the disheartening thing, right? I like when you start to see, UH fans, albeit pretty fickle as they
I mean,
already
I'll
are.
I'll fit in with that category.
I mean, I've always been a diehard UH football fan, but I'll support the teams that I don't always go out to the games, right? Football is a different story, but um, yeah, when you start to lose the fans, I think that's when you really need, oh, excuse me, some kind of change, right? Like because the NIL is not getting any easier, the donors aren't, flying in anymore. So the athletics, unfortunately, they have to perform. And at least a change of scenery, I think, at this point, if your UH is necessary, because at least it gives some hope, right? Um, there's always a little bit of excitement, right? When there's a new coach that comes in, the potential is there. At least it gives fans something to hope for. Now, as we've, Orangutan's been around for almost 10 years. I think,
And
like,
years already.
has it been 10 years already? So, we've seen the hope and promise and, close to the tournament, not quite there, lose in the first round, lose in the first round, lose in the first round. Like, uh, it just hasn't been good. And I think this year, unfortunately, like you said, Matt, is it's just time, to move on. Appreciate what Orangana did for the program, but I think what you pointed out too is if we're not taking the next step in this conference, what chance do we have when we move up to the Mountain West, right? So yeah, I guess we'll have to see how it goes there, Matt. But um, yeah, not a just a sad way
It's so
to
sad.
kind of go out. Why don't we? We could up to you if you want to talk about some of this stuff. But I figured if you want to wait for Hunter to come on, um, I don't know, up to you if you want to wait for him to talk a recap of
Uh,
stuff.
I'll get into it a little bit.
Okay.
Hunter's going to Vegas, so I don't know how his schedule is gonna be, but he's gonna go check out. He was gonna go check out the men's and the Wahine. Now he's just going for the Wahine. But I'll give a brief kind of breakdown. But I do have to shout out a couple guys. The sad thing, going to this whole Ganat thing, because he's the whole point of this topic, but he had the tools. Honestly, there was some players on here, it's like, okay, like we can work with this. Like we should not, I don't know if we would be a top 2 or 3 team, but could we be a 4 or 5 at least? Solidifying ourselves in the tournament, potentially win a game or two and get lucky. Yeah, I think so. It's just we just the rotations. It's just I don't understand. And I'm looking at one guy, Gidis Naminchka. I would say probably was our MVP this year. Maybe between him and Christensen, but I thought Christensen, started strong, but kind of faded towards the end when teams started to really double team him and take him away. So couldn't really impact the game as much. But with Giddis, he's not a traditional post up player, but really could kind of do it all. He could shoot the three. He can take you off the dribble. Respectable free throw shooter. I think he's shooting like 78% from the line. So that'll honestly kind of work for a four. Um, but I thought he was a hustler, like kind of a scrappy guy too. Our leading scorer. So he must have been doing something right, I think. But you know what sucks is the minutes. He got benched. Got benched right when he was hitting his stride and he had you know, a little slip in the middle of the season. Um, but it's like we just kind of like ran him out of the rotation. And we're using Harry Rulidev instead. Like, no offense to Harry, he might be a great guy, but he's not better than Giddis. Like, I don't understand the logic behind the rotation and the change. So not you're what think about it. What coach benches their leading scorer? You bench your leading scorer. So I really don't understand the logic behind that because Giddis was truly, a piece that we could have worked with this year. But he had an overall good season considering he had a lot of ups and downs in the rotation. But probably another guy that we need a shout out for, you should say, co-MVPs of mine was their point guard, Aaron Hunkenclader, true freshman from Hawaii, moved to the mainland for high school, but he's not like a Rod Bobbitt or Anthony Carter, one of those like great point guards. But he's a point guard. When you have a team full of non-point guards, it's kind of a breath of fresh air just to see a point guard on the floor. It's like, oh my gosh, he can actually pass. He can actually dribble and control the ball. So maybe by default, he was an MVP because he did show some flashes. I think one of the things that I knocked him on was he has to be more aggressive. I think scoring the ball. Because if you just keep passing on the break or you know that this guy's going to pass, teams are too smart. They're going to watch film. They're going to figure that out and they're going to use that to your disadvantage. And, you're going to have basically 4-on-5. So Aaron's got to be able to develop that 3-point shot. He's been a little better, I would say, over the course of the season. But I think once he gets his offensive game going a little bit and gets more comfortable, obviously, as he gets bigger and stronger, he has the potential to be a key piece for this team. Again, barring that he stays with UH with any kind of coaching news or whatever's going on. But shout out to those two guys. I thought, I liked what I saw this year with these guys. And then, there's obviously some disappointments, I would say. Probably the two for me was probably going to be Beatty by default, one of my least favorite players on the team. So not just trying to be a hater, but it's like when I watch him play, it's very frustrating because I really don't understand why defenses don't see it more and why defenders don't do this. But it's like he only dribbles with his right hand. He can only dribble with his right hand. So if he can only dribble with his right hand, force him left because he can't go left. And if he tries to shoot a left-handed layup, you're gonna block him because he's gonna go back to his right. So it's like it's a one-dimensional player. That's the easiest kind of guy to me on the basketball court to defend. And it's not like he's the greatest, he's not like a Zane Johnson or, one of those UH snipers on the court. Like you can kind of give him a little bit of cushion and contest his shot and, live with the results. So I just think, for him playing a bulk of minutes, he in his defense, Gannat tried to make him a point guard. He is not a point guard. What point guard cannot dribble with their left hand? Like that there's no words for that. So just truly disappointing from him because I thought he would have been a little bit better coming into his second year. But I think we kind of know the writing on the wall that this guy is not going to be a starting shooting guard in Division 1 basketball. Can he be, a bench guy, high energy, like a Lakers comparison, like a Jordan Goodwin kind of guy, just a hustle guy. He'll play 10 minutes, spelling your starter, high energy, play defense. Like, yeah, I mean, he can do that, but he ain't gonna be no Austin Reeves. Let me tell you that. So
Right.
like, so we're just putting these guys out of position, I think, and yeah, we kind of just set him up for failure, as well as his kind of lack of ability to dribble. But another disappointment was actually Marcus Green for me, one of the few black guys on the team. Um, but
Jesus.
coming in, I was like, whoa, this guy, he shot like 42% from three. Like
Mm,
he was a bucket, true bucket. And then kind of again, with Ganot, it's like I see the flashes early. It's like, wow, this guy, he can take guys off the dribble. He's the only guy on this team that can do that and beat one-on-one coverage. And I always say this, you have to have one guy or two guys on your team that can just bail you out. And with UH, we suck. Our offense is so bad. We have no, I don't even know what we're doing. We just try to feed it to Christensen. And if he doesn't get the ball, we're just scrambling. So in that case, we got to have a guy that can bail us out when we're down to 5 seconds on the shot clock and get us a bucket. He's probably that one guy that we had on this team. And in his defense, he was on the floor. So it's like we have the pieces and he's not on the floor and we can't score. We scored back-to-back games. We can't even score 50 points. Like what the heck? Like this is college basketball. Like
yeah.
HBA basketball scores more than 50 points a game. Like and they're all small Asian guys. Like we're a Division 1 program here with a top-notch arena in the Stan Sheriff Center. Like we have to be better than this. And Marcus Green, in ways, not all his fault, but I just thought he was going to be like a true bucket getter for us, like 15, 16 points a game, you know, close games. We're going to go through him. He's going to make the play, but we didn't get any of that. So I was just kind of disappointed to see, you know, the end result from these guys and really this season. So they're not even worth talking about anymore. Honestly, I'll wait till the Ganot news comes, whether it's stay or go. That's going to be the big thing. But yeah, this team was a complete disaster, and rightfully so. You don't deserve to make the tournament if you lose 5 out of your last 6 games going into the tournament, and you have 2 chances at home or 2 chances to end the season, controlling your own destiny, and you can't do it. So you don't deserve to make the tournament. So glad it's over. I think you can watch Duke or somebody else that's better, or the Wahine. At least they're the number 1 seed going into the Big West tournament. We can watch
Hmm.
UP. The women's are in the finals tomorrow.
Yep.
So
Yep. I
it's
was
like,
about to
man,
say,
everybody else
go
is doing
Lady
great
Pilots.
except
Yep.
Iran Ganot's team. Iran cannot truly at it again.
Yeah. Well, at least we don't have to talk about it anymore, man. But yeah, go
Yep.
Lady Pilots, go Rainbow Wahine. So hopefully, we got some dancing to do.
Yeah. UP plays
That'd be good.
Gonzaga right tomorrow.
Yeah,
Is it Gonzaga?
I think so for the
Every time
ship.
they play, it's close. I actually
Yeah.
kind of want to watch that game if I'm not at the doctor's.
Yeah. No, that should be a really good game. I'm excited. Um, oh, they play Oregon State actually. Oregon State's another really good team though.
Oregon
Um,
State beat Gonzaga.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow.
They beat them by 2 today.
Ooh,
So
that's a close game.
yeah, it's gonna be a good one. It's March. Anything
That's
can happen,
true.
right?
Anything happens in March.
Yeah. Um, but let's see, Matt. I guess before we get to MLB stuff, Hawaii baseball, hey, they're doing not too bad. They play really well at home. Um, think they did they
Yeah,
end
they
up
lost on the
losing the
road this
series?
week.
They lost the
Yeah.
series, but they were all pretty close games, right? So
hmm
I don't know.
I think they
I feel good about
won.
this team.
Did they win another? Yeah, I think they won it. No, they didn't win extra. Sorry, they lost in
Yeah, they lost
extras.
that extra innings one. That was kind of tough, but
Yeah, I'm
um
not gonna panic. It's
yeah, they're
one
in every
series.
single game, and even on the road, like they've been pretty impressive. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm just so far so good. 11-4. 1-2 in the conference. Yeah, but we still got a lot of time.
yeah.
Um,
You got a lot of time to make up ground.
yeah, but 11-4. Hey, feeling good. It's the Manoa Magic in there. So
Hey, but
hopefully,
I
yeah,
mean,
we'll see more.
if you win most of your games at home, you're sweeping teams at home, 3 out of 4 at home. Like you can drop, a couple road series. It's not gonna kill you.
Right.
But obviously, as the season goes on, you want to see UH win 2 out of 3, maybe
Mm-hmm.
get a sweep here and there
Yeah.
against certain teams that are lesser than you. So we want to see that progression. I mean, they're not healthy too. Like Donahue's hurt, so they're still trying to figure out who their guys are and figure out this whole pitching staff because it's really a work in progress. I think honestly, but I'm not gonna panic yet. It's one series. It's like the Yankees and the Dodgers. We don't panic after
Yeah.
one loss in a series. Like it's okay. It's
You're
okay.
right.
If it was a playoff series, different story. But
Yeah, we don't panic
regular
off of
season, like
that.
let's not panic early in the season.
Yeah.
Like if it's late September and you're trying to get in, maybe I'll panic. But in April and
Yeah.
May, like
See, that's true, Matt. And that's a good segue, but unfortunately, there is some panic in New
oh
York.
yes, yes, it's over. It's over. Sorry. I just had to say it. It's over.
You
It's
just
over.
said there's nothing to panic about in March
No,
or
no,
April.
no. Barring health. I'm gonna use your
Okay.
your Laker
Yeah. The
line here.
asterisk for everything, barring health.
Barring health.
Barring health, the asterisk of
Barring health.
Fan and Fanatic.
Now, if I look at the Yankees roster, fully loaded, are they better than the Dodgers on paper? Probably not.
I don't think a lot of teams are, to be fair.
But yeah, but that's who they lost to. So that's the team you're in a sense trying to get over the hump with. Are they better than Dodgers? No, but on paper, could you get out of the AL again? Yeah, probably. You would be in contention. But, nobody strikes like the injury bug to the Yankees, it seems like. It's it's tough. Honestly, it's going to be pretty tough for them to, as currently constructed, get back to the World Series. Are they going to make the playoffs with this roster? There's a lot of what ifs again.
Hmm.
Now, if those what ifs click, yeah, they'll make the playoffs. And if Aaron Judge stays healthy, and that's a big if, then yes, they'll make the playoffs and then hope for the best. See how long you can go. Um, but you lost Stanton, key bat in the middle, and then the two big losses, Heel and Cole. That's like your two best pitchers from last season
The Cole one is
gone.
absolutely brutal. I feel for you so bad. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I
oh,
think honestly,
sickening.
if it's a lingering thing, I agree that he should get the Tommy John surgery. He's gonna get it tomorrow. Yeah, you can't play this year, but hopefully you can recover from that and just be healthy towards the latter half of your career because he's still got 4 more years, I think, 4 or 5 years
Hmm.
left as a Yankee after this. So we want him to be healthy, obviously, because even if he's not going to be dominant 2019, 2020 Garrett Cole, he's still going to be a top notch guy in your playoff rotation, regardless. So, and you can always go sign somebody else to do that for you because
Hmm.
you're the New York Yankees. So,
Yep.
but Brian Cashman, we don't like to go over the luxury tax. So,
Can't
but
relate to that
yeah,
one.
but strictly this season though, like when you lose Cy Young winner, AL Rookie of the Year, and Heel for probably half the season at a minimum, I would think it's going to be like Cole last year, where he comes back in the summer, like June, July, if we're lucky.
Mm,
Um, so and that's a big what if he even stays, in that rookie of the year kind of mode. Because he had a strong start and then faded a little bit at the end. So which heel are we gonna get when he comes back? But man, when you lose your ace and a top five pitcher in baseball, when you're literally building your team around him to be there, that stings. It really does sting.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm not gonna say it's over yet. It is over if we stay pat and don't do anything. It is completely over. And I don't want them to do that because they actually had a pretty decent off season with the guys that they brought in. Devin Williams, you can't just trade for Devin Williams for 1 year and then just say, Cole's hurt, it's over. Like as a fan, maybe I can think that, but as a management, as an organization, you can't think that. You just traded for Devin Williams. He's a top two closer possibly in baseball.
Right.
You got Aaron Judge, MVP season. You're really gonna waste another year of him. He ain't getting any younger. Like you sign Goldschmidt for a year. Like you're just gonna tank Bellinger. Like no, you can't tank. I think if they're actually serious about winning, they have to make a move. Not just a move, like two or three. Because you need a starter. And I saw rumors that Sandy Alcantara would be looming, possibly. Now that's something that would be interesting and get me kind of hyped. With him and Freed
Mm.
getting back there, because we got Marcus Stroman as our number three starter. That is not going to cut it. Um, so we got to get another starting pitcher like that because you're trying to replace somewhat of an ace on your staff. And I still think you need a third baseman. We need a third baseman. We can't be rolling out Oswaldo Cabrera for a full season. I love the kid. He deserves to be on this team, but I don't want to see any of this Peraza, Cabrera. Like Wade is such a huge fan of Peraza. And I think
Yeah.
he's good, but it's like we literally could have traded him like 4 years ago. And I was literally like, can we get somebody proven? Can we get somebody proven before we waste another prospect? Because we always do this. The Yankees always hold on to a guy too long and their value goes down.
Hmm.
Clint Frazier was another one. Top prospect for us. We traded for him. We hold on to him too long and he looks like garbage. Like he just looked like a shell of himself. So it's like we hang on to guys too late. Like enough of this rebuild. Like you already know who the guys are gonna be. It's gonna be Volpe, Jason Dominguez, and maybe Ben Rice. But that's it. That's the three quote unquote young guys. You're in a team full of win now guys. Like
Yep.
I don't got time to rebuild right now. If Aaron Judge retires, then maybe we rebuild for a year or two. But yeah, dude, I just can't trust Oswaldo Cabrera at third for a full season. I don't know what the Arenado thing is, but maybe now is the time, especially because Stanton is hurt too, and we need a bat in the middle of the lineup. So yeah, I'm pretty sad because we actually would have had a shot to at least get back to the World Series being healthy. Bellinger looks good this way. Bellinger's swinging the bat well in spring training. Goldschmidt's looking fresh, keeping that 2024 end of the season momentum going. So I don't know. Jazz is going to be Jazz. Volpe looks good so far. Austin Wells is looking like Kyle Schwarber now in the leadoff spot. So I see a lot of good things, but hard to win when two of your main pitchers are out and your big home run hitter is gone. So
Hmm.
you can't replace those guys.
Yeah. It is it's tough. Obviously losing those two guys, man. So I wish you guys luck. Um Man. That's a tough blow, honestly. But I
We
will
could have
say,
got Kyle Tucker too.
yeah, and but I will just say that, man, am I glad that the Dodgers spend money. Matt, let me
Yeah,
just real quick, I don't want to gloat or rub it in anyone's face too much, but as of right now, sort of current pitching staff is looking like, right? Just the starters. Blake Snell, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Tyler Glass now, Roki Sasaki, Dustin May, right? Guys that will eventually come back this year. Of course, Shohei Ohtani, Tony Gonsolin, All Star, Kershaw. I mean, he's gonna do what he's gonna do in the regular season, right? Um, I think Landon Knack is healthy and available, along with Emmett Sheehan, guys that have given us key innings and key starts last year. Not to mention Gavin Stone, who was the number three guy before he gets hurt last year, and River Ryan, another really promising pitcher. So we got 12 pitchers, um, which is kind of insane. I don't know how they're gonna manage everything. I don't know who's gonna make the roster. I don't know who's gonna stay and who's gonna go, and it's gonna be crazy, honestly. To see how Dave kind of works it out. I will say going into the season, I don't know the order, but it sounds like it's gonna be Yoshi, Tyler, Snell, Roki, and Dustin May as the fifth guy to kind of round it out. So not sure how they're gonna, rotate all the rest of the guys in or what, but yeah, just really excited moving forward with the starting pitching this year, kind of even scarier opposed to last year where obviously we relied on the pen a lot, right? But even in the pen, Tanner Scott, nice addition there. Re-signed Blake Trinan, Kopech, Vesia, Gratterall, add Kirby Yates, Anthony Bonda, and Ben Kasparis, young guy that gave us good innings last year. Like that's a lethal bullpen in itself as well. Like all you got all stars there. Guys that came up big in key situations. So yeah, looking pitching is looking really good this year. Um I will say the kind of question is what are they gonna do second base slash center field? But as we've seen with this Dodgers roster, the value of having the utility guys that can hit, right? The Kike's, Tommy Edman, obviously, NLCS MVP. Even, Chris Taylor obviously had a down year, but can still give you solid defense anywhere you put him. Um, Obviously, Mookie can play shortstop or any outfield position that you need him, and then Shohei rounding it out. So yeah, honestly feeling pretty good about this team. I would imagine the Dodgers will be the favorites to repeat again this year. I don't see why they wouldn't be right at this point. So, like I said, barring health, I always say barring health, but really how this roster is constructed, it's gonna take multiple knock on wood, right? But it would it's good to see them, you know Lance Lynn pitched in a playoff game not that long ago, and I will never forget that. And I don't think Andrew Friedman has forgotten that either because he went out and built an insane 12-man starting pitching. You can't even call it a rotation, but 12 starting pitchers, quality starting pitchers on one team at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out. But yeah, feeling really good about this team going into the Tokyo series pretty soon.
That's crazy. It's next week already.
Yep. So we got the Tokyo series coming up. Um, when is the
I think
Tokyo
it's
series?
Tuesday and Wednesday next week, right?
Is it already? Wow.
I think so.
Okay. Well,
Yep.
oh yeah.
It's coming up. Baseball is almost back.
Baseball is almost back. It's gonna be fun. Looking forward to it, and looking forward to seeing Shohei. I'm gonna try to go to a game or two this year, man. So, live and in person,
Nice.
want to see that for sure. But I was saying too, like, it's crazy because you don't even really need to pick a day to go, because like anyone that's gonna start is gonna be someone you want to see. Glad like especially when Shohei comes back and is in the lineup or in the rotation,
Oh my gosh, this
you
that's
pick
gonna be
between
crazy.
Shohei, Yoshi, Tyler Glasnow, Blake Snell, or Roki. Like you can't go wrong. That's five aces on one team, essentially, right? So I mean, Roki we'll have to see, but right, that's four solidified MLB aces on one pitching rotation. So I get why everyone hates the Dodgers. I get it. But at the same time, I don't care. I don't care because All the years of Dodgers choke. Oh, the Dodgers choke in the playoffs. Oh, blah blah blah. No. So that's why I don't care that Andrew Friedman has remembered that, taken that, and amplified it to the next level. So thank you, Andrew. As a Dodgers fan, we appreciate you and everything that front office does for this team. So yeah, Matt, that's all I got for now. So I guess we
All right.
can kind of look to round it out. But yeah, why don't we get to our quick hitters?
Quick hitters. Well, Jerry Jones Award. It's got to be fellow Cowboys, I think. I'm going to say Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. Not necessarily for their play or anything, but you guys fell into the trap of kind of mismanaging your money on your personal end, trying to help this team out because you guys restructured your deals, probably thinking that your owner slash GM would do something with that space, and he has not. So you guys fell into the trap. I hate to say it, but thanks, I guess, for at least giving us a shot. But yeah, Dak and CD, foolish fools slash Jerry Jones Award winner. You guys fell into the Jones trap again.
Yeah. My fan tribute this week, Matt. You know, I just gotta give him props. Nikola Jokic. 30, 20, and 20.
That's pretty
What?
impressive. Never
What?
seen it.
And will like that's the first one ever, right? So it's like, will we ever see any like that is literally you have to play 2K on like rookie to get numbers like that. Honestly, they don't even let you do that in 2K. Anything past like pro probably. So like just casually the best player in the world, right? And you ask him about it. Oh, yeah, one day I'll look back. That's pretty cool. Dude doesn't even like basketball, guys.
I know it's a 9 to 5 job for
It's a
him.
9 to 5 job, casually putting up 30, 20, and 20 in today's game. As a as a center, dude doesn't even dunk the ball. Like 7 foot tall center doesn't even like to dunk. Uh yeah. Tip of the cap to the Joker. Probably won't see a 30, 20, 20 in our lifetime. So uh yeah. Appreciate it while you can, everyone. But that's all I
Yep.
got for my fan
All right.
tribute.
All right. Sports fact of the day. We are recording on March 10th. I found this one on Twitter actually. 14 years ago, probably one of the most famous, I guess you could say, March Madness shots, or at least conference tournament shots. But when Cardiac Kemba, everybody probably seen that video who watches college basketball.
Oh yeah.
One of the greatest game winners in our era, at least, with Kemba Walker hitting that absolutely disgusting step back to send UConn on to the finals and
Mm-hmm.
ultimately win the Big East and win the national championship that year. That was like you can just hear the call in your head, like you just know what he's gonna say. So yeah, shout out, go watch it on YouTube or Twitter. Pretty incredible shot by Kemba Walker. So
Yeah.
shout out Cardiac Kemba.
Oh yeah. Cardiac Kemba. Can't forget that one. Never
Yep.
forget to get that one. Um,
We're so old. I remember watching that like it was like 5 years ago.
well, we are getting up there, Matt.
Can't
Hate to break it to you,
even
but
stay healthy, you know, like well.
yeah, when it gets to the point we need to like stretch and warm up, that's how you know. Like that's how you know, guys. So
Yeah.
take care of your bodies. We're all getting old, or we're not. We know we're not old, but like,
I
yeah,
don't know. We always see ourselves as indestructible 18-year-olds, you know, but it's catching up to us a little bit.
mm-hmm. Back in our glory days, huh?
Back in the glory days.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, yeah, thanks for sticking around. Appreciate it. We will definitely have more free agency stuff to talk about next week. Basketball is going to continue to roll on. So, yeah, we'll cut it here. But as usual, guys, thank you for listening. Appreciate it. Tuning in every week. We'll be back in next week. So take care. Stay safe. And yeah, see you guys next week.